Right, so it's been a while since I've done a kind of a proper video, you know. Well, proper videos and making the videos. It's on the tripod instead of me holding the camera or the phone. Basically, this is just a kind of video to do with the version 1.1.6 Softmodding tool, which I released or updated last week. Now the reason for the update, because 1.1.5 was basically, it works, but some people had issues with when they booted the system, it would crash just after the X logo screen, or at the X logo screen, and the reason for it was dual booting was enabled by default, but the initial dual booting, so the standard version of dual booting that came with it as default, would always boot dash loader, so it didn't matter what, if the disk was the tray was open or closed, always booted the same path. This caused problems for some reason, so some Xboxes, the drive's on its way out, or the IDE cable's damaged in some way, and it would just crash. Ejecting the disk or the tray would fix it, but I can't have people having to eject trays to try and bypass it, so I just disable it by default. You can still get in and enable it. If you have no issues, then you're fine. If you do, just don't have dual booting, because there's not much else I can do, because it's a hardware issue. I think what it is the drive's miscommunicating, or NK patcher's panicking because it doesn't know if the drive's open, close, or so, I don't know. It works and it doesn't work in some Xboxes for some reason. Other thing is I added a few more options to NK patcher settings, and I also updated the extras disk. So I'll speak about the extras disk in a minute after I show you the new stuff in NK patcher settings. So there's two new things. If you go to EEPROM advanced features, there's three new things. The menus have been rearranged a bit, and you can now remove parental controls from NK patcher settings. So some Xboxes in America, because it's the region 1 that gets parental controls, none of the other regions seem to, you can now just disable them via NK patcher settings, which means you don't need the Microsoft dashboard anymore to do it. The exact same, well, I was going to say the exact same, it's an EEPROM. You can also change the system language. So before you would have to get into the Microsoft dash, go to settings, language, and then you could pick a different language. Now you can just come in here, select it, and it will change the whole system language, which is at the EEPROM level, hence why it's in the EEPROM advanced features section. And you can also back up the Xbox BIOS, so I'll quickly show that. The reason for the backing up BIOS is just because it's an extra feature. I added it to the extras disk to determine if a system's retail, modded, etc. And I thought, well, why the hell not just add it to the NK patcher settings? You know, it means if there is a BIOS out there that the extras disk doesn't detect properly or whatever, then you can send it to me. I can check the MD5 hash, and if I don't have it, I can add it. So, you know, it's handy for that, I suppose. Video modes, you can now force VGA. Don't know if this works on a version 1.6 Xbox, as it says, because I don't have a monitor that supports sync on green, and I don't have a cable that I can plug into the monitor. So, you know, if you have VGA and you want to try it. Don't know if it works on a 1.6. It's using the VGA 10 patches. Can't remember who it's from. But if you go to the NK patcher folder and on my GitHub, it has a change log in there with all the changes that were ever made, so you can see who actually done it, etc. Extras disk. So the extras disk is another thing that I wanted to update. Now recently, since Mr. Mario showed my soft mod, or upgrading to my soft mod from the extras disk, I've had people who are hard modded, i.e. T-salt flashed or have a chip, installing my Softmod. Now, with a hard modded system, you cannot install a Softmod unless it's a chipped system, and you can then boot the chip disabled, so you just press the power button once if it's not got BT set to ground on the chip, and it will boot a retail BIOS, which then can be soft modded. If you're booting a hacked BIOS, you cannot soft mod, or you cannot use the normal NK patcher. Technically you can soft mod hacked BIOS, but you need to use the virtual drive patcher, which is essentially for specific BIOS. Allows you to run ISO from the hard drive. But the extras disk can now determine between retail or hard modded, and if you're retail and you're booting the disk, you're obviously soft modded, so it can take between my soft mod and another soft mod. So if you're running my soft mod, it will boot into this menu. If you're running, this is just the same as everything. Another thing, if you use Unleash X and you want to install the audio, you can come in here and you can install the audio. Instead of installing the whole Microsoft dashboard to the C partition, you can just install the actual audio files that Unleash X actually uses. So it only takes a couple of megabytes. So you know, you don't have to install the whole Microsoft dashboard. Homebrew, game mods, all the same stuff. All the upgrade and update and restore to factory options have all changed. These all now to try and combat damaged DVD. Obviously the Xbox is what, since 2001, so that's what, God, 17, 18 years nearly old. Is it? No. Aye. So, you know, the disk drives they're on their way out. They're not going to last forever. So to try and combat people who have drives that can't read burned discs kind of properly, or they struggle, I zip everything. So everything on the extras disk now, applications, dashboards, mods, the whole shebang, are all zipped. So if anything's damaged or it can't read properly, then the zip file should be corrupt and it shouldn't finish the install process, which should stop people installing damaged soft mods that are coming off the disk drive. It doesn't read properly. Also added clear cache. It's not really needed, but there's another option on the extras disk. Advanced apps, you have Chimp, Config Magic, the updated version are done. Xbox Partitioner 1.3 and XBP Table Writer. Now this app is for hard drives that have been formatted with Unleash X or Evolution X dashboard. Now in the latest video from Mr. Mario, where he's got his original 2001 Xbox that his mum got him, he used Chimp 261812, or well, you'll see it's Chimp Loader on his screen. He cloned CE and F. Now really what he should have done is he should have used this to write a partition table to his original hard drive, because I assume it was CE and F takes all space on his original one, and then he should have used Chimp 261812. That's why in his video it skipped the F partition. It won't clone the F partition if it doesn't find a partition table. The reason being is I don't know how big the F partition is, so I need the partition table to know how big the F partition is. So what he should have done is done that, then selected CE, F and G takes remaining space, and it would have cloned the CE and F partition and then made a G partition with whatever space was left on the hard drive, because you can't resize partitions without wiping them on the Xbox. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So if you are a hard modded system, it will check and it will boot this folder with the default.xb. Now if you're wanting to use this, it's on my GitHub, so it's open source, it's up there. You can double click a bat file, or if you have the XDK etc, it will build the file, or you can just take the stuff off this disk. and you can make your own custom discs that can boot on soft mods or hard mods, etc. So you know, you can do all different stuff now. The only problem, or not the problem, the only thing you need to know is Unleash X always boots the config from the root of the D drive. So you can see the configs there, they're not inside the folders. The reason being is the D drive is the D drive. If it's on the hard drive, the D drive is the root of the folder. But when it's booting from disk, it must be the root of the disk. So you can see. These XBs are all hex edited to boot these configs. So, you know, it's just cleaner. But if you're hard modded and you boot my disk, this won't allow you to. This is me just simulating. So this is a T-Soft console. I put the disk in. It'll load this menu. In the prior video, it loaded to a menu just telling you that you were using a hard modded BIOS. This is intended for my Xbox Softmodding tool, but I thought why not let people install dashboards or applications. So if you install a dashboard from here, it will use my dash loader. It will put that on the root of the C partition as evox-dash.xb. Now dash loader supports 24 dashboard paths, but obviously if you're using the disk, you just install to one of these two paths and it will boot them automatically. XBMC MU station gets extras, and the same with gamers. Now E XBMC for gamers and F will boot before E dash. So as you notice, there's no C dash, the reason being the C partition is too small and you would end up running out of space. And you also can't install the Xbox artwork installer if you put it on the C partition, so I'll only allow you to install them to the E or F partitions. Same as before, C E dash. My soft mod uses dash loader. The hard mod folder also uses dash loader, but it uses a different version. It uses one that I've stripped out the soft mod specific stuff. So it will boot 23 dashboard paths because it doesn't boot C evox-dash.xb, because it would just boot loop. It would go around in circles booting itself over and over again. The advanced menu is minimalistic. Reason being, it's all soft mod stuff there, and there's no point using factory reset on a hard modded system because you can just install the the MS dash from here, and that's it, kind of retail in a sense. What else? If you want to have custom dashboard paths, so say you can use dash loader, so you can copy it from the disk and you can use that as evox-dash.xb on your Xboxes, and if you want, it's got built-in recovery dashboard paths, which are tdata recovery dash default.xb, and the same for udata. So you can put dashboards there as a backdoor, or you can create an evox-dash.rec file and you can put a custom path to anywhere you want. So essentially you can have start and Y on boot up to boot any dashboard or any game or any application you want, and if you don't have that, if the application gets removed or whatever, it will just then jump onto whatever dashboard paths are next. So if you want to check the dashboard paths and what order they are, you can do that on my GitHub inside the readme.md file. If you scroll down on the Softmodding Xbox Softmodding tool repo, in readme.md there is a wee toggle that you can pick and it will show you all the dashboard paths that's supported. Remember, the only one that's not is C evox-dash.xb because it would boot loop on a hard modded system. If you're not running my soft mod, it will boot to this menu. If you want a custom dashboard path that isn't supported, so say you want to boot applications XBMC for whatever reason, you want to boot a dashboard from the applications menu, then you can create evox-dash.cfg and put the path in there, and it will use that instead, or it will use that before it checks any of the other dash paths. I was getting loaded up with the recovery dashboard. So, by the way, if you're using SID, Crazy, and the DAR 3.1 or 2 or whatever versions there were, you'll see this menu, which then lets you upgrade to my soft mod, and you get to use my extras disk or the proper. Obviously, you can just go into the D partition and select softmod default.xb, and then you can install stuff, but it might not work. This is why I made the disk determine what softmod and stuff like that, because I don't want hard modded people installing my softmod because it causes issues and it doesn't boot anymore, and I don't want people who aren't running my softmod installing stuff, because if it doesn't work, they moan at me that it doesn't work, and they think the disk is useless because it's not hexing, right? Hexing boots a boot from media BIOS, so what that does is that disables, it replaces the kernel in memory, so essentially you're using a hacked BIOS at that point in time, essentially. So the soft mod is replaced, so any protection that the soft mod gave is disabled completely, and it uses shortcuts on the C partition. Now the C partition on a soft modded system should never ever 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 be touched, ever. So with my soft mod, you have zero reason to ever get into the real C partition. I support 24 dashboard paths, so it covers basically all the soft mods. So there's no reason for anybody to use evox-.xb on my soft modded, or on any soft mod for that matter, because you shouldn't be getting in there. Simple. But anyway, that's it. So I get a power notification there on my phone. I thought it stopped recording. Basically that's the soft mod done, so that's how simple it is now. Well, it's always been that simple, but it's done. I shouldn't. The only thing I might do next is add more to the hard modded section of the disk. I might allow you to tsop etc in there, or upgrade your BIOS to a different one. Because the only way you would get into that option is if your system is hard modded. So I can use XBlast OS, the XBE version, and I can set it up to flash BIOSes and stuff like that. And then essentially it'll be the one disk to do everything in a sense. So aye, that's kind of really it. 18 minutes of me rambling. So I shouldn't need to do anything else at the actual soft modding side of things. So, everything should be fine. As long as your USB pen is supported with the Xbox, you should be soft modded within 5 minutes of doing everything. It's pants easy. So, aye, that's kind of it. Hopefully the disc works for people, because some people haven't. I had one person who couldn't install the soft mod because it crashes at the patch in EEPROM. Have no clue why it's doing that, so I'm getting him to test some stuff to see if it is an issue at his Xbox or whatever. But essentially, when the soft mod installs the patch in EEPROM that you see at the beginning after creating the Shadow C partition, is essentially just enabling 720p and 480p. That's all it's doing. Saves you having to get into settings, going all the way down to screen calibration, video display, and enabling these two, because they're enabled at the EEPROM level. And never run Unleash X at 720p. 480p you get no issues with squashed. So this thing, oh god man, this thing here. If you have 720p, if you have 720p or 1080i, sometimes that will go squished and it looks stupid as hell. Disable widescreen or letterbox, or disable 720p and just use 480p, and you shouldn't have any issues. I'll use the Evox one. So, you know, that's any kind of wee niggles, just leave a comment and obviously I can explain stuff. If it's not to do with the disc or it's not to do with something here, find a video that is to do with your issue and message me on that. Don't message me about stuff that's irrelevant to the actual video, because it gets annoying. So just put comments based on whatever the videos are. I'll try and get them. Most times I reply to everything. Sometimes obviously if I've got a load of messages I might miss one. If I do, just remind me and I'll answer it. So this is now on my Google Drive. You can get the link to that on my GitHub. Just search Rocky5 on GitHub, or the Xbox Softmodding tool. Now, please don't build from the source. If you go into the readme.md file on GitHub or on the repository, there will be an installation section and there will be a pre-built so we download pre-built versions. Click the link and use that. The reason I'm saying that is because building for the source can cause issues if your Windows is set up different, if you don't have files in the right place, etc. I'd rather you just use the pre-built versions that are all done, all ready to go. The pre-built version of the extras disk has all the mods on it. The GitHub version doesn't, because they're too big for GitHub, so I can't put them on there. And that goes the same with XBMC EmuStation, XBMC for gamers. Use the pre-built link please, because it saves a hell of a lot of headaches. And they all work because I've built them, uploaded them, stored them for use to download, so just use the pre-built versions please. But anyway, I'm away. Right, thank you, bye.